Okay. Monica Crowley has been giggling all through my opening remarks. Joins us now. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Nice
Bill.
to see you. Thank you for
too.
subbing for me while I was at the White House.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Causing trouble. I want to get into the socialist candidates first, and then we'll get into the wall. I don't think they have a chance, Monica. I mean, the press loves them, no doubt, enables them. Elizabeth Warren running around Iowa. Who gives a fig? I hope she doesn't get frostbite, but you know, I don't care whether she's an Iowan. She's not. She may win the Iowa caucus. You know how crazy they are, the far left in Iowa, but not going to win.
And she may actually win New Hampshire because she's a favorite son coming out of Massachusetts. But let's take a step back, Bill. I remember years ago being on the air with you and using the word socialism in the context of the modern Democratic Party and how those socialist principles were on the ascent within the left and taking over the party. And I was arguing to you for many years how Barack Obama had socialist impulses, massive radical wealth redistribution. And I remember many a time you put me in my place. Monica, that's not true. Socialism is not on the ascent. Here we are where socialism is now mainstreamed in the Democratic Party, and you have the big celebrities like Bernie Sanders, Liz Warren, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez who are openly now espousing socialism, saying that they are not really Democrats, they are avowed socialists.
Okay, but they're only celebrities because the media makes them so.
Because
why is the media doing that?
In the mainstream media, they're all on the left anyway, but now they have mainstream socialism too.
Why?
They believe
they're going to lose gazillions of dollars, these people.
They believe in this kind of radical wealth redistribution. Here is the thing, most young people, 25 or actually 16 to 29, that demographic, they are espousing socialism like crazy. And here's the problem. Number one, education. They're not being taught the horrors of socialism over many decades across the world, the economic consequences of socialism. Here's the thing that seduces young people. And this is what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez espouses, what Bernie Sanders and Liz Warren are talking about as well. They talk about the concept of equality. But what young people don't understand is that because human beings are inherently unequal, we all have different talents, strengths, and weaknesses, right? You cannot have equality unless it's at the barrel of a gun. You need a police state, i.e. socialist systems like Cuba, Soviet Union, Venezuela, to enforce equality because you cannot have it any other way. So all of these young kids, including AOC out of the Bronx, when they talk about equality and then you ask them, well, how are you going to enforce it? They want the enforcement mechanisms of the state, but what they won't tell you is it has to be a police state in order to get you there.
Well, look, I don't think, with all due respect, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez even thought that out. All right, I don't. She's just trying to play to a crew, and the media is enabling that, making her a star, and now we have to go through this. But my original question, I think, is a valid one. They don't have a chance. Americans aren't going for it.
America is still a center-right country, so that much is true. The activism and the energy, though, is with the young people on the Democratic side.
But they'll lose.
When you look at, but take a look at how the Democrats have set up their primary process. You're going to have Iowa. Who knows who might win there? They changed the rules in Iowa. You may not get a clear winner. Then you go to New Hampshire. Bernie or Liz Warren as favorite sons, being Vermont, Massachusetts, they might win. So now it's all going to be on Super Tuesday, March 3rd of next year. Guess what happens on March 3rd? California. California is so far left that activist base in the Democratic Party may very well nominate a far left.
Big gift to Trump. But Biden will win the New Hampshire primary if he gets in, and probably the California primary. All right, let's go to the border wall. So here you have a system where the Democratic Party has positioned the wall as racist. That's why they're opposed to the wall. It's racist to put up a wall to stop illegal Hispanics from coming to America. That's racist, okay? That's behind everything. Because they can't, as you saw, stick up and say, oh, a barrier is not going to help in smuggling narcotics. Of course it will. I mean, and we went over this and over this and over this. Israel, East Germany. Every time there's a barrier. What did they do in Europe to stop all the hordes from coming in last year? Put up a wall between Turkey and the European continent.
Walls work.
Right. All right. And it stopped it. So it stops it. So everybody knows that, but it's racist now. So if you support the wall, you're a racist. Now, Donald Trump's going on the air, and I'm telling him he's got to use facts. He can't get into the emotion of it, even though the emotion of it plays on the conservative side. I understand that. But in order to convince everybody, you got to go boom, 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 boom. Do you think he's going to do it?
Yes, I think he's going to make an impassioned plea tomorrow night when he goes before the American people in a primetime address from the Oval Office, which, by the way, he hasn't done yet. So he's been waiting for the ideal topic to talk directly to the American people. He does it every day on Twitter, but this is something different because this will be broadcast.
You got to feel that he's going to bring in all the people who've been murdered, right?
Yes.
The Gold Star moms and the police officer in California, Kate Steinle. You got to figure he's going to do that, and that's fine. That's fine. But he's also got to do, look, if we have this steel barrier, now it's steel, not concrete. Is that the dumbest thing in the world? Concrete, steel. I don't care. Use Lincoln Logs, all right? Just put something up there that's going to make the Border Patrol's life easier. So dumb. So you expect an effective address?
Yes, and I expect him to break it down in a couple of different categories. Number one, sovereignty. You cannot have a sovereign country if you don't have an enforcement. Right, but he needs to reiterate this because remember, a lot of people are just hearing from him maybe for the first or second time on this thing. Secondly, rule of law. This country's supposed to be built on that. You don't have that. That goes out the window. The domestic security stuff you're talking about is critical. The criminal element, narcotics, drug trafficking, human trafficking, he's got to hit all those points. The other thing that he has been emphasizing more so, which is why you heard Sarah Sanders raise the terrorist element with Chris Wallace, he's been talking now in national security terms.
Right.
So I expect him also to reiterate that. He better have his facts right in terms of how many special interest aliens, which is the Homeland Security term.
I would stay away from that.
For others than Mexicans, OTMs that come across the border.
I would stay away from that. National security means that you can't just let everybody who applies for asylum into the country. You're going to have tens of millions of people. We can't absorb it. Use the 50% of foreign national households are on means-tested entitlements right now. 50%, okay? You can't afford it. Everybody's going to get collapsed if this continues. All right, Monica Crowley, everybody. Here she is, 2019, as smart as she was in 2018.
Smarter.
Oh, she's progressing. All right.